I'm a man. I have no right, and I'm straight, and I'm white.
If you're just attacking straight white men just for the sake of it, that's just weird. It's not right.
Minor attracted persons. Most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them, and those assumptions create harm.
Yeah, this is insane. Make sure y'all subscribe to her channel. Let's get it.
The company sells geeky toys and merchandise, and I love that stuff. It started to get on my nerves when I felt like I couldn't really express my opinion freely if I didn't like a certain show or agreed with the newest diverse casting or changes to certain characters. Then we started selling pride flags and pronoun badges, of course, and using pride and rainbows to get customers in. This job involves running courses for young people with mental health problems and providing a chance for them to temporarily be in a space where they cannot worry about the problems that hang over them. It sounds lovely on paper, especially as the age range for these courses are 11 to 20 years old, and consider the state of Gen Z, it should be completely fine. I wish, but no. They interject so much far-left nonsense on the courses as well as the meetings and trainings we do outside of that. They consistently talk crap about any person with a following who isn't left. Funny enough, they actually mentioned you, Misha, at one point, and they got super offended over your video about lesbian Snow White's meltdown. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of flattered, because if I'm making people hate me for disagreeing with what the pronoun gal is saying, I know I'm doing something right.
I'm going to show you how to use flowers emoji pronouns.
If they think this way, then again, I would not mind. But it's a problem when 12 to 20-year-olds are being told nonsense and believe it. My super woke manager and fellow employees were talking crap about cis straight white men when I was sitting right next to them, and I gave them such a death stare. I think people just aren't even used to you saying.
So first and foremost, thank you, Misha, for creating this video. This is her original video. Make sure y'all to go subscribe to her channel. Jesus. I don't understand all the hatred present, I guess. That's the best way I could put it. If you have your own personal beliefs, nobody wants to enforce your beliefs onto them. But when you try to enforce your beliefs on other people, that's when it's a problem. Especially when it comes to kids. If your target audience is 12 to 20-year-olds, this group is very impressionable. They're teenagers, they're preteens, and you want to push this narrative onto them. It's for one, it's kind of weird, if I'm being honest. It's kind of weird, and it's just not right. It's just not right. The problem is that when you have a narrative and you're trying to actively push it on the kids, that's the problem. Even when you look at content like this that is a little more, I guess some people call it conservative. I think I'm a little more in the middle, or people say Misha's channel is conservative. She's not trying to target herself towards children, or I don't see any conservative platforms trying to actively target themselves towards children. That's where the problem is. I'm talking about you writing books towards children. You're only speaking to young kids. That is a form of brainwashing. That is literal brainwashing, because you know kids are impressionable. Rather than going to adults and saying, okay, I believe this, or even college students, you go to kids. I know you have to think that's wrong.
Anything against that, because there are now straight white men, but on the left, who say, yeah, like, I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'll just put my head down. I won't say anything because I can't really speak. I'm a man. I have no right, and I'm straight, and I'm white. I really should just go.
And that too, if you look at it, if you're just attacking straight white men just for the sake of it, that's just weird. It's not right, because if you're a straight white man, you can't control being a straight white man. You came out the womb like this, so that means you're just getting attacked based off of characteristics you can't control. Remember the last time that happened? People getting attacked based off of characteristics they can't control. It just doesn't make sense, because if you were to put it on any other person, if you were to look at a black person or a woman and just attack them based off of being black or being a woman or being whatever, that is automatically prejudice. But since you're targeting a white man, a straight white man, it's not prejudice. What's the difference?
Die, because why am I even alive? Like, I should give my space, I should give this oxygen to someone who really needs it, like a gay black woman, right? That would be the opposite. So yeah, they don't think that they deserve an opinion or to speak if they're a straight white man. So I'm sure these people on the left were surprised that you would not agree with them. Straight black women who think that only gay black women should talk, and it just continues until it's like the most oppressed person, they can talk, until someone that's more oppressed comes along. It says, do you have any advice for me? I just got out of college and now work as a substitute teacher, yet I see a lot of the same stuff you mentioned. Yeah, it is crazy if you look at what's going on in public schools especially, and teachers, and the books that are being read to children.
I'm a teacher in the district. I also teach in LUSD. I have 2 students in the district. I work at the Children's Hospital Los Angeles with queer and trans youth in large groups. And so I deal with a lot of their trauma related to the heteronormative, Judeo-Christian, patriarchal, imperialist, capitalist system that oppresses them. 95% know that they are trans when they are 3, 4, and 5 years old.
Homeschooling has...
And that's another thing. When it comes to the oppression stuff, this is a real question, y'all. I promise I'm not trying to make fun. How do you know if you're oppressed? Like, genuine question. How do you know? Because if you think about all the videos you watched, some videos will say that I am oppressed because I'm black. Some videos will say that I'm not oppressed because I'm a man. Some videos will say that I am oppressed because I'm young. Some videos will say that I'm not oppressed because I'm young. So, like, where it literally seems like it's like a race to the bottom. Like, if you are a woman, but then you can't be a white woman, but you have to be a black woman. And some men can be oppressed, but you only can be oppressed if you're a black man. But you can't be a black man who dresses like this. You have to, this drives me insane. How do I know? I can't tell nowadays. Can somebody please answer me? Am I oppressed? Like, how do you know? How do you know?
Never looked this good. This person responds, if there is a possibility, document all the woke material in the school, or try and directly challenge higher ups at the school regarding the woke material, or to minimize political conversations between students and yourself as much as possible. You know, this is what we did like in middle school and the beginning of high school. Teachers would make it very clear, you know, I'm not even going to tell you my political beliefs. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for. Don't ask me. We're here to learn algebra. We're here to learn history. We're not here to discuss the candidate I like. I think that's a good plan. Why should that be talked about in the classroom? What should I do about the situation for the dream job as a psychologist or school counselor? It's really sad and very troubling what's happening to psychologists and psychiatrists. I wanted to be a psychologist when I was younger, and throughout high school I thought I would become one because I find psychology so fascinating, and I still do. But it's really unfortunate what's going on, especially with, you know, this gender affirming care. But it's not just that. When you think about the purpose of a therapist, it's to provide professional mental health support. That doesn't automatically mean that they have to affirm you and validate you, right? If you come into the office and you say, I'm a tree, I feel like a tree, and it makes me really sad that people don't see me as a tree. Your job as a therapist is not to say, okay, here, I'm writing the consent. Here's my signature. You can go surgically attach tree branches to your body. No, that's not your job. Okay, that's insanity. And that's the direction we're heading to, because therapists are now losing their license if they don't automatically affirm someone's gender identity. Also, that doesn't mean they have to judge the patient when they open up to them. But it doesn't mean that immediate validation is always appropriate. It's important for the therapist to push back sometimes to see how the client reacts, to diagnose them with something if need be, and then develop a personalized treatment plan. But to get to that point, they have to challenge their client's perspectives. That's how you better understand the deeper issue, right? Otherwise, you're paying them for 30 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour, whatever, for them to affirm, nod their head, yeah. A lot of people use therapy to just get approval, basically, or permission to continue their destructive behavior, or try to avoid responsibility. And it's a lot of narcissism, right? They just sit down, they pay them, and they get affirmation, and they feel really good about themselves, but they don't want to change. And they're not going to get any better if that's how you're approaching therapy. And everyone
my thing about everything she just said is, I have the belief, although I am a Christian, I believe in God. I really do. I believe in the United States of America, people have the right to believe whatever they want to believe. That's not what I would do, but I say in the United States of America, under the Constitution, you have the right to believe what you want to believe. You have the right to live how you want to live. Keyword, you. You, I can't make you do anything, and I don't want to make you do anything. But my thing is this. When you try to push a narrative onto children, or you try to push a narrative in public, or you try to push a narrative on social media, The least you can do is make sure the narrative is responsible. My problem is that a lot of these narratives, when you're saying like, a lot of these, I guess, left-leaning narratives, they aren't responsible. That's it. So I'd rather you not push them. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I believe in schools, especially with young children, you shouldn't push any political narrative at all. You shouldn't push any political narrative. That's between them, their parents, and whatever. But when you go to schools, you have teachers saying that you're teaching children that they're oppressed based off of whatever. Or you're teaching children to hate a certain gender or race of man. That, I shouldn't even have to say this. This is obviously wrong. Like, why are you teaching kids this? Why are you teaching kids this, bro? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, I just can't believe this. But anyways, let's continue.
Gen Z wants to be either a psychologist, sociologist, and heck, even a criminologist, which, considering the Gen Z spills, is quite terrifying. True. I do not want someone identifying as a frog or a doll to be judging the next generation's mental health, or these therapists fighting to normalize pedophiles by calling them MAPs. And how, we should have compassion for them. They're virtuous pedophiles because they don't actually touch children. You're a pedophile. Let's not normalize that, ever.
I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons.
Oh my gosh, this is worse than I thought. This is worse than I thought. I didn't think it. Oh my gosh. How is this allowed? Nah, I take back what I said earlier. I don't think people should be able to do what they want. That ain't no way. This is insane. Did y'all hear what she just said? What?
Ever?
I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. Most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population.
While I'm not in the job currently, I find it ironic I'm working myself through school to become a psychologist as a conservative, despite that being one of the most woke careers I've ever seen. If it wasn't for the fact it actually was one of my greatest passions and I couldn't imagine myself in any other career besides it, I probably wouldn't have decided to go to university for it. I was a medical receptionist, and even though I didn't change my job because of the political climate, I did start to see a trend tipping towards the woke by adding pronouns and even allowing the patients to change their gender. It wouldn't even show in the quick view menu that they weren't that sex, but rather in their actual chart.
Please confirm your gender and pronouns.
Male, he, him, his. Thanks for asking.
We're the ones with the messed up software.
The doctors are so busy that I won't be surprised if one day someone is given wrong medications or instructions because of it. I had to ask elderly people all the time if they identified with the opposite gender because a lot of them accidentally would choose the wrong one. They would just laugh and say that it was a mistake, but no one else that I worked with would do it. I just don't understand why it's allowed in a medical field at all. We need true and accurate data at a glance. Okay, so speaking of medicine, I'm watching The Good Doctor right now, and I know it's just a show.
Yeah, this is insane. This is insane. Oh, brother. I'm gonna put her video in the description if you want to continue watching it. I'm not gonna watch the whole video here. I just wanted to bring light, I guess, to the issue or video topic. But this is actually worse than I thought. I didn't think it was this bad. A map? Jesus, God. If you have any suggestions, comment below. I really genuinely cannot believe this, but this is the life we're living. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.